What's up guys, I am Taylor with TK Disc Golf and welcome back to the channel, and we are taking our Gyropalooza box that we unboxed in the previous video and taking it to Echo Valley Disc Golf Course in Springboro, Ohio. It is a very versatile course with lots of distance, lots of woods, super fun track, and it is the #1 ranked course in Ohio, so a very nice track for this box to show off the versatility of all these different discs that we acquired. To do a quick recap of the discs we've got today, first of all we've got the Cosmic Neutron Echo. I'm going to be swapping it out with this orange one because I think the blue and purple was too pretty to throw. I'd already thrown this one before, and it's the exact same run, so we're going to stick with that one. We came up with two parachutes in the Eclipse plastic. I'm going to keep the nice scientist stamp one, or the astronaut stamped one, minty fresh, and just throw the lab second one for the video. We've got a plasma wave here. We've got a nice R2 ohm, a Total Eclipse Vanish. This is one of the guaranteed discs. A nice neutron trail. The prototype balance from the Simon line, super cool one. We got an R2 Defy, R2 Hex, and last but not least, the cool one, Proton Soft Rhythm. Super pretty one. Let's head out to the course. The format for this round is pretty simple. I'm going to be starting with worst shot, and then hole 2 will be best shot, and it alternates between the two until we finish all 9 holes that I'm playing today. Throwing the plasma wave straight out of the car, 30 degrees, flurries coming down. I am super stiff and very much out of disc golf shape right now, so that one didn't really fly too far. Normally I'm way down that hill, about around the 400 foot mark, and that one maybe went 330, so definitely going to need to warm up as the round goes on. And then that neutron trail skied it a little bit, highs are down, but they're going to both be pretty much in the exact same spot, just short of this massive sycamore tree. Gives me a wide open shot, to be honest, to get up and down for an easy birdie on this hole. The only 2 putters I received in the box were that parachute and the ohm. The parachute skids all the way up to the tree right next to where the basket's at, and then the ohm threw it a little low, but the ground is hard as a rock right now. It's frozen solid, so it just scooted all the way up there. Easy tap and birdie range from here. Hole 2's 253 foot straight away, nice tunnel shot, slightly downhill, and there is absolute death behind the basket, a massive hill that goes down to a creek. You do not want to go long, and unfortunately that ohm shot drifted a little too far right and clipped the last available tree. If I was able to beat that tree, it would have been just underneath the basket. And then my parachute shot unfortunately pulled it a little right. It is still a very nice catch style frisbee, flight numbers 170.5 fade, but unfortunately that one I flexed it a little too much. I should have thrown it with a touch of hyzer and it would have gotten all the way down there, hands down. This putt's probably about 35 feet or so, hit cage with the parachute, and then the ohm putt, unfortunately, as you'll see here, airball it a little bit because I just got scared of the hill. I've been putt with pixels lately. I'm loving them on the glide, but anytime I switch to a different putter, it gets into my head. So these putts, as long as I'm inside 20 feet, I'll be okay. Outside that, it might get a little squirrely. Hole 3, 382. It is a long par 3 through the woods, straight, and then it curls right very late. That Proton Rhythm unfortunately flipped up and then got a little bit of a cut roll, but leaves me in the middle of the fairway. Worst shot doubles on this hole is going to be very tricky, and thankfully I got 2 reusable shots. That Rhythm, was it a perfect shot? No, but at least it gets me in the fairway. I can see the basket through this little gap and gives me 2 options for forehand. First one I went with the R2 Hex, very straight flyer as you can see, a little bit of drift but not too much, underneath the basket for 1. And then I went with the Cosmic Echo for this second one. I've been really liking the Echo. I don't have one in my bag, but it is very similar to like the Hex, but for some reason it just wants to hold the lines a lot straighter, but without any late stability issues. So it's a very fun one. I don't know if I'll ever put one in my bag, but I do enjoy throwing them when I can. Both being able to hold those nice forehand lines from 170 feet or so. Hole 4 is 436 foot. It's our first par, not the first par 4, first par 4 in the woods, I should say. It's nothing too crazy, but you do have to avoid those initial trees and try to get all the way down past the creek. I clipped the last branch possible before going over the creek. That was going to be a 6 shot, and unfortunately that branch just knocked it down. And then this wave shot put it straight down in the ground, but thankfully we're playing best shot. The one that I did throw was that Proton Rhythm that got me all the way down to this point. That was not a great attempt of a forehand with that Cosmic Echo, but I got super lucky, found the Millennium Falcon gap, and got all the way into circle 1. And then just like we did on the previous hole, I'm going with that R2 Hex as well. and am able to get this one into a good shot as well. But I think we're going to wind up with the Cosmic Echo. That one's just a couple feet shorter, maybe 22, 23 feet, nothing too crazy, and should be a nice and easy birdie with that parachute. Hole 5, one of the coolest signature holes on the entire course, is 335 downhill, extreme elevation change, and I've thrown in this R2 hex first on a worst shot doubles round. Unfortunately, with the black disc and the snow flurries, loose side of the disc, but I assure you that is 10 feet from the basket. It was a perfect throw, and I could not follow it up with a second good shot. Thankfully, got a nice kick out back to the middle of the fairway. Cannot complain. The easy par from here. But yeah, unfortunately, it would have been a really hard ask to birdie this hole with worse shot doubles. That parachute landed behind that tree, cut it out of frame, but it's only like a 20-foot putt. Pulled it a little left. I was trying to throw more of this shot like I did with the Ohm, a nice glidey hyzer, giving it kind of a baby run without running too far past the basket. And unfortunately forgot to film the putt, but did make the par save. Hole 6, 263. There's two different lines. First one I'm going with is the Cosmic Echo, straight down the gut. Unfortunately, hooks up a little late because of the air I gave it. It's a really, really tight gap to try to lace one with a slight flex. But this other shot I've been trying to experiment with lately is like an overstable driver hyzer around all the trees to the right. And that neutron, not the neutron, the R2 Defy throws super straight and then hyzers in and skips, almost hits the basket, leaving me with a super, super close putt. I want to call it, yeah, let's call that 12 feet, if at that. It's not too bad. A really cool shot, aiming back down the fairway. It's a very tight gap, and I'm going to start probably experimenting with that hyzer line just because it's a little bit safer and guarantees me to get farther down the fairway than if I hit a very early tree on the straight shot. Hole 7's that 495, one of the cooler par 4s of the day. And unfortunately, this is where all the headwind holes just start. And that the total eclipse vanishes where I threw first. And it just did not want to fly into that headwind. Got down to the ground super quick, left me short of the creek. And then I went to the R2 Defy, and it was a decent shot, but barely made it over the creek. But with the worst shot option, I'm having to throw from behind the creek, thankfully in bounds still. That Cosmic Echo on the Anheuser. Unfortunately, I did not give it enough oomph to get all the way to the pin, and then that branch really stapled it up quick. So I'm going to be way out in the field unless I can get something. Yeah, basically that's going to be my worst shot. The R2 Ohm was an absolute perfect correction, gets me inside the basket. But like I said, worst shot doubles I'm having to play from in the field. Nothing too crazy. It's probably like a 40-foot putt. And I'm just giving some frisbee tosses at these. I'm not trying to make a normal putt, risking rolling back down the hill. So some nice airy, hitting the ground flat. It would have been nice to can one of those, but I'm not going to get too aggressive. But hole number 8 is 488. It's a par 4. Nothing too crazy, but there is an OB road down the right. First shot, I'm going with that R2 Defy again. Ended this insane headwind. Really flirting with the out of bounds, but I trusted that Defy is going to hook up late. Gets me back to the center of the fairway. No issues there. Don't really have anything else overstable, so I tried the plasma wave on a hard hyzer, but that headwind just absolutely ate it alive. It is definitely out of bounds, but thankfully this is one of the best shot holes, so I get to take that R2 Defy. Easy 110-foot approach shot. But there is some trees that I have to try to hyzer over. That first attempt, I tried that prototype balance and unfortunately didn't give it enough power, so it did fade in a little early and clip that last branch. I corrected with the R2 Ohm, a lot more hyzer, more glidey, and that height, I got to get past the branches and then hyzer back in. You can see that evergreen tree there. I was trying to get around that, and that last branch is what the balance hit, but then the Ohm was able to sneak past it and skip all the way up for the easy birdie there. Going into hole 9, I'm 4 under through par, and this is by far the hardest hole of this front track. 556 par 4. You have to go straight for easily 475 feet before you want to take a 90-degree turn to the right. And that first shot with the plasma wave, again, headwind absolutely ate it alive. And then this neutron Defy, even it struggled to stay straight, and I didn't give it enough height, and it ate early. This is unfortunately where my camera died. The cold weather absolutely zapped my camera battery, but I did end up bogeying this hole because that was my worst shot there, where you can see it went off the fairway there. This neutron trail got me into a good spot that would have left me wide open, but unfortunately I was not able to get up and down to save par. Wound up taking a bogey, but 3 under on alternating best shot, worst shot doubles is not the end of the world. I'm not going to be upset about that, especially with the cold and throwing random discs. Overall, had a great time. Man, oh man, that was a cold round, but I had an absolute blast throwing the new Gyropalooza box for 2024. Lots of super cool surprises sneaking in there, especially in like the lab second era. They're doing a lot of experiments lately. I did hear of some proton resistors, glow orange reactors. I mean, man, there's some really cool stuff that the Team MVP members have already pulled. I can't wait to see people doing their unboxings on December 11th once the general public can get their hands on these. Be sure to let us know if you snag one of the golden tickets. I would love to see what those look like. If you aren't aware, Gyropalooza 2025 is officially going to be in person at a limited capacity, and one of the ways you can attend is by pulling a golden ticket balance from the Simon line. It's going to have a custom stamp on the bottom and then another list of rules and how to officially apply to get your place at Gyropalooza 2025. So hey, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to drop a comment down below, and then we'll see you on the next one.